So, 9 warning signs your strong personality is too much for others to. So, number 1, you're often labeled as intimidating. This label may come from the fact that you are assertive, confident, and not afraid to speak your mind. I know these traits are admirable at first, but if we think about it, sometimes they come across as aggressive or overwhelming to others. Okay, here's the thing. It's one thing to be assertive and stand your ground, but it's another to bulldoze against another or others' opinions or feelings. Your strong personality might also project an aura of self-assuredness that can make others feel a little uncomfortable or insecure about themselves. Notably, this is not always a reflection of your intention. It could just be the way others perceive your strength. Number 2, that others could think you are intimidating is you dominate conversations. Have you ever noticed that people people will get silent when you speak? I cannot deny, but it is great to be a confident communicator. But dominating conversation can be a sign your strong personality overpowering other people. This happens when you're the first to speak, the last to stop, and leave little room for others to express their thoughts. It is not just about the quantity of what you say, but the quality and intent. Are you listening as much as you speak, or as you most focus on getting your point across? Just think about it. Because true conversation is a two-way street, requiring both talking and listening. But if people rarely challenge your idea or seem hesitant to contribute, you might need to step back and create space for others. Number 3, that people think you are intimidating. People seemed drained after interacting with you. As I've just mentioned, interactions should be ideally leave both parties feeling energized and positive. But what if you notice that people often seem drained or exhausted after conversations with you? Then I'm sure it's another clear indications that your strong personality is a bit too much for them. So let me elaborate in that. Your passion and energy can sometimes come across as intense, leaving others feeling overwhelmed. This intensity, combined with a tendency to dominate conversation or assert your views strong, can make interaction with you seems like a marathon to others. Okay, does this sound familiar? Okay, then it's worth taking a step back and reassessing your interaction style. Try to pace your conversation and be mindful for the comfort level. So the thing is, it is not about your personality, but about adjusting the volume when needed to create a more harmonious interaction. That was number 3. So number 4, you often find yourself in conflict. So the conflict seems to follow you like a shadow. A strong personality can sometimes clash with others, leading to frequent disagreements. It's not necessarily being confrontational. It's more about your assertiveness and firm opinion and intentionally spark conflict. So for example, imagine you are in a team meeting and a colleague suggests an approach you strongly disagree with. Instead of discussing it, you immediately shoot it down, citing all the reasons it won't work. While your intentions might be to steer the project in the right direction, your approach can come dismissive and confrontational, leading to friction within the team. So look, I'm not saying that conflict is necessarily bad. It's not. Even more, it can be a catalyst for growth and new ideas. However, if you're consistently finding yourself as a disagreement, it may be time for reflect on how you express your opinion. Are you leaving room for dialogue and differing viewpoint? Are you approaching are you set on proving your point? So number 5, that people might find you intimidating. you struggle with receiving feedback. Have you ever found yourself whistling as the slightest criticism? I know I have. Common traits among with strong personalities. We take pride in our capability and decisions, so receiving feedback can sometimes feel like a challenge to our competence. Interestingly, I've noticed that people who struggle with receiving feedback often have a high self-efficacy. This means while we're confident in our ability, we might also have a blind spot when it comes to recognizing our area of improvement. I remember a time when a colleague suggested a different approach to a project I was leading. My initial reaction was defensive. I felt like my methods was being questioned. But upon reflection, I realized that feedback wasn't an attack on my ability. It was an opportunity to learn and grow. Now you might be wondering why I share this story with you. I think it's a clear illustration. Learning to accept feedback, a tool for personal or professional, it became much easier to accept, even seek out. Verse 6. You might find you an intimidating person. You're often described as too much. Even heard of someone say you're too much? Believe it or not, this simple gesture can be a clear signal that strong personality is overwhelmed. For some people, direct feedback not always deliver the most constructive. It's as simple as understanding there's first it doesn't mean you need to change. Rather, be aware of how your energy intensity might be perceived by others. You just need to find a balance where you can be true to yourself while being considerate to others. Trust me, it doesn't suggest you to dampen your spirit or enthusiasm. Nothing like this. Instead, it's an invitation to reflect how you express yourself. Verse 7. Your relationship often feel one-sided. I've noticed in my own life that when I'm in strong personality, my relationship can start to feel a bit one-sided. Uncomfortable realization and important. Here's how it works. You have a strong personality. You might unintentionally take that in most interactions. And guess what? This leaves just a little room for the other person to express themselves fully. Usually, this tendency manifests in various ways. Maybe conversations often revolve around your interests, challenges, or you found yourself making decisions in a relationship without much consultation. Of course, it is not done with intent. Sometimes it is just a byproduct of being dominant personality. The key to addressing this is mindfulness. Paying attention to how much space you occupy in interactions can be an eye-opening. This might mean stepping back sometimes, asking more questions, or simply being more present and attentive during conversation. So number 8, you have a hard time admitting you are wrong. So admitting we were wrong is tough for everyone. For those with a strong personality, it can be especially challenging. Our confidence and assertiveness, usually our strength, can become harder in situations that require humility and vulnerability. How can find strength to admit you are wrong? I have a few tips to my experience. Take a breath and step back. Learn, apologize sincerely. Believe me, admitting you is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of emotional intelligence and maturity. It's been a challenging journey for me, but embracing this vulnerability has enriched both my personal growth and my relationship. Number 9 and the last, I often feel misunderstood. Feeling misunderstood is a common sentiment among those with strong personality, like speaking a language that others seems to interpret in different. Worst part, this disconnect can lead to feeling of isolation and frustration. Perhaps not surprisingly, this can lead to complex thoughts and emotions, which can be challenging for others to fully grasp. So from personal experience, I've learned that communication is the key. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it. So being mindful of your tone, choice of words, and even non-verbal cues can make a significant difference in how you're understood. It's also worth remembering not everyone will understand or appreciate your strong personality, and that's okay. What's important is that you stay true to yourself, also being considerate of others' feelings and boundaries. So that's all for today's video. The 9 tips that people failure intimidating?